Hello, friends. I'm Miss Sara, and this is the Artist of the Month virtual story time. Every month on the third Saturday, I'll have a virtual story time about our Artist of the Month. The following week, on the fourth Saturday, Ms. Erin will do a virtual how-to related to some form of the art style that our Artist of the Month does. Do you like art? Can you explain what art is? Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe what art is or what an artist does, but I think a good definition, a good meaning of art is that it's a way that a person can express their feelings and their surroundings through the creation of something beautiful. What kind of art do you like to do? You like to draw and paint? Those are great ways of expressing yourself with art. Can you think of any other ways you like to express yourself? Yeah, music is a great way, or writing stories, or acting in a play, or making a movie. So art doesn't have to be something that's drawn or painted. It can even be the clothes you wear or jewelry you make. So this month's artist, our February Artist of the Month, is a man named Romare Bearden, and he was a collage artist. Have you ever heard of collage? Collage is a type of art where you use different materials and lay them flat on a surface to make a picture. An easy way you can do this is taking cutouts from magazines, newspapers, computer printouts, and gluing them all together in a new picture. You can also use things like fabric pieces, stuff from nature you might find, like leaves or flowers. There are all different ways that you can make collage more elaborate than just paper cutouts. But Romare Bearden was one of the most famous collage artists in America. His collage work depicted normal people going about their everyday lives, both in the South, which at the time was a very rural area with lots of farms, not a lot of people, and the North, which was a very populated area with lots of people in big cities. And most of his work focused on African Americans, which at the time weren't featured in a lot of art. Our story today is My Hands Sing the Blues, Romare Bearden's Childhood Journey. It is words by Jean Waller Harvey and pictures by Elizabeth Zunon. The pictures by Elizabeth Zunon use a lot of collage, some even inspired by Romare Bearden's work. So make sure you look a lot at the pictures today. The story is read with permission of Marshall Cavendish. Let's learn more about Romare Bearden. What kind of art supplies do you see in his setup? Yeah, there are paintbrushes and pencils. What else? Yeah, different pieces of fabric or paper. This is a collage. Let's read more. I snip a patch of color and add a cutout face. Oh, I glue up jazzy blue for sky and add another face. People walk into my work as if it's always been their place. My hands sing the blues when I paint and cut and paste. I never know what I'll create when I paint and cut and paste. I use paper, fabrics, photos, and nothing goes to waste. Today, my memory whirls back to my North Carolina past. Swirling days of hot July, picking berries in my past. Just then, a train roars across my canvas with a loud and steamy blast. I'm back as a boy, talking with great-grandma down the old dirt road. I'm walking with great-grandma down the old dirt road to the land of the Cherokees from where her stories flowed. Rocking on her creaky swing, we hear the crickets chirp. We feel the humming of Magnolia Mill and hear the crickets chirp. We gulp down warm tomato slices, trying not to slurp. Riding up on great-grandpa's shoulders, I'm a strong and mighty tower. My chin resting on his head, I'm a strong and mighty tower. We're watching the good trains go by, hour after hour. We know every train by its swinging whistle tune. Each engineer plays a different whistle tune, like the Atlanta-New York special, sizzling through at noon. The trains cha-chunk on by. Woo, 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 woo. One more round of whistles. Woo, 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 woo. Wah-wah-da-doo. Woo-woo-da-woo. Wah-wah-da-doo. There go the trains. Then one day, I'm waiting on a bench for a train to roll on in. Mom and Pop and me, we're waiting for a train to roll on in to take us to New York, where our new life will begin. So there's Romare Bearden as a child, and he's leaving his home. He's leaving North Carolina to go all the way to New York. From the south to the north, many more have gone before me. Riding on the railroads, many more have gone before me, wanting to be free like the wind blows through a tree. From somewhere down the track, I can hear the whistle blow. I tap my toes to the beat and hear that whistle blow. Whoa, whoa, the locomotive slides in slow. Lifting luggage up the stairs, the Pullman porter nods at us. Standing by the sleeping cars, the Pullman porter smiles at us. But we can't go in the sleeping cars, and we're not to make a fuss. Tears sting my eyes when I hear the call, all aboard! I hug great-grandma and great-grandpa, then I climb aboard. I settle in my seat and wonder what we're traveling toward. Is he happy to be moving away? Not really. Might have mixed feelings. He's going to miss his grandparents. He wonders what he's going to find in New York. Tink-a-tink, tink-a-tink, the engine picks up speed. Kanook-kani, tink-a-tink, tink-a-tink, bye-bye, Trade Street Station. Kanook-kani, with a thumbing and a drumming, the train hums a tune to me. I press my nose against the glass and watch the world whizzing by. A patchwork quilt of greens and golds, the world whizzing by. Farms and fields of cotton, roosters pecking bugs nearby. I spy a woman by a wash tub, stirring, staring up at me. I wonder what she's thinking, staring up at me. Maybe that tomorrow, so far away, I'll be. Are we still on the train? No? Where are we? Look at their surroundings. Do you think we're in a busy, big place? Why? Why do you think we're in a busy, big place? There are lots of people walking around. Sure, what else do you see? Tall buildings, big signs like a marquee. Is Romare still a child in this picture? No, I think he's a grown-up. He's working on his art. Let's read some more. The train glides us up to Harlem, New York City. That's where I am right now, painting what's inside of me, sharing stories of my past and the joys and fears inside of me. Like a flower, I have roots in my Carolina past, roots sunk deep in my childhood, long past. The people and the places are in my art to last. When I begin something new, I take it slow and steady. I let myself become my art and take it slow and steady. I'll lag behind the beat until I'm sure I'm ready. I want my art to touch each of us so we can understand. I want to follow roads through secret places so we can understand that the blues sing for each of us all across the land. I'm like a singer calling out, then holding back. I'm like a trumpet player blowing loud, then dropping back. When I put a beat of color on an empty canvas, I never know what's coming down the track. And there's a note at the end that gives us some more biographical information, some more information about Romare Bearden's life. Let's read it. After the Civil War, Romare Bearden's great-grandparents were among the African-American middle class that established businesses in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the railroad and cotton industries prospered. When Bearden was a young child, however, his family faced discriminatory Jim Crow laws and attitudes. That means they were discriminated against just because of the color of their skin. In 1914, the 3-year-old Bearden and his college-educated parents participated in the Great Migration North, moving to New York City. After his family moved to Harlem, Bearden spent many fondly remembered summer vacations in North Carolina with his great-grandparents. Bearden, of African, Cherokee, and Italian descent, was one of America's most vibrant and innovative 20th century artists. Although Bearden achieved artistic success with different styles and media, today he's remembered mainly for his collages, which he referred to as paintings. In his collages, he not only analyzed the social and political issues of his time, the things that were going on and were important to the people who lived then, but he also told his personal story and the daily life experiences of African Americans living in the rural South and the urban North. In addition, his paintings incorporated references to music, classical art, literature, and religion. He described his process in creating these collages as follows. He said, I first put down several rectangles of color, some of which are in the same ratio as the rectangle that I'm working on. Then I paste a photograph, say anything to just get me started, maybe a head at certain places in the canvas. I try to move up and across the canvas, always moving up and across. Bearden had a passion for trains. He spent many hours as a boy with his great-grandfather watching trains roll through Charlotte. He included trains in some of his paintings to symbolize not only Charlotte and Pittsburgh, where his maternal grandmother lived, but also the Underground Railroad and the Great Migration to the North. The author's text was inspired by Bearden's painting, Watching the Good Trains Go By, painted in 1964 and featured here on page 5. Romare Bearden died of complications from bone cancer on March 12, 1988, at the age of 76. In his obituary in the New York Times, he was described as one of America's preeminent artists and the nation's foremost collagist. That means he was really famous and good at what he did. He received many awards, including the National Medal of Arts, presented by President Reagan in 1987. He also dedicated himself to helping young, emerging artists. The author loosely based their text on the concept of the blues, all 3 lines rhyming, 2 lines incorporating similar end phrasing, and a variation in rhythm. They chose this form because Romare Bearden's art and life were inspired by blues and jazz music. W.C. Handy, the father of the blues, brought the music of rural Southern African Americans into the mainstream during the 1910s and 1920s when Bearden was a young man. In addition, Bearden was influenced heavily by the world of jazz during the Harlem Renaissance. He often commented on the similarities between how he created his collages and how jazz musicians improvised. He called his paintings visual jazz. If you would like to learn more about the work of Romare Bearden, you can visit the Romare Bearden Foundation website or the National Gallery of Art. Make sure you tune in next week for a virtual how-to on how you can get started with collage with Ms. Erin. If you're local to Sharpsburg and the surrounding areas, you can get a kit of all the supplies you need to make your own collage. I will see you on the third Saturday next month for the March Artist of the Month. Until then, keep dreaming. Stay safe and healthy, friends.